Hi James. Hi Andrew. Hi Jessica. Hi Kayla. Good to see you in the chat, I guess. Well done, Joshua. Just finishing your workout. Great. Hope you can hear me. I am not sure. I'm talking into the camera and I assume you guys can hear me. Hi Cassie. We're a little early. We have a few minutes to spare here. Can someone give me a thumbs up if you can hear me? I'd like you to hear me. Oh, there's way more here. I can hear you. Nice. Thanks, Kiefer. Looks good. Nice. Thank you. I didn't scroll down the list here. Yeah, Kayla, I'm gonna explain what I'm gonna talk about tonight in a few minutes because we're supposed to start at 7, I think. So I'd like to just give a few minutes before everyone shows up here. Hi, Jill. Thanks, Leonka. I'm also excited for another evening with all of you guys. Sorry, Jill. Hello, Carla. I wasn't quite sure. It was confusing. Thanks for letting me know. Hey, Spencer. I had a good week. Lots of work, a little bit of sport, a little bit of exercise. I went hiking for about 5 kilometers last Friday. I ran. Hello, hello, Sarah. Preston. You had to lose 10 pounds for your weight class. That's quite a bit. Did you manage to do that well? I can't remember. You must have. Spencer. Good. We're almost getting started here. A couple more minutes. I went hiking in West Bragg Creek. There's all kinds of trails. West Bragg Creek is a recreation area just outside of Bragg Creek, and they have all kinds of trails, cross-country ski trails, snowshoe trails, hiking trails, horse trails, all kinds of trails. Do you sometimes go hiking, Damien? Hi, Johnny. Glad that you can make it. Good to be here. Did everyone bring a water bottle or something else to hydrate yourself? Hi, Alexis. Amazing. You guys type too quickly. I can't read it all that quick. And we're going to get started soon. Hi, Jessica. I remember being at the pool in London. North of 60. Oh, last year. Okay. Nice. Hello, Mark. Welcome. We're gonna give it just one more minute. Just make sure that we start at 7. Right on time. Hi, Nick. Hello, Darby. You made it. That's great. My first peak night. Jill. Hey, Jill. How are you? Good to see you there. Yes, Preston. I have actually 2 dogs. One is 14 and the other is 9 or so. And yeah, it's great to have them around. I guess by a show of hands, as I'm starting here, who has dogs? Just put it in the chat. Maybe you have other pets. I'd like to hear all about it. But it's 7 o'clock now, so I'll get started here. Welcome everyone to Maximize Monday. It's Monday, and we're going to maximize the week. We're going to start off on a good foot, on a good note. And this is my second time with you guys. I was here last week. I think most of you were with me last week, and just wondering, do you remember what we were working on, what we were talking about? Just put it in the chat, and I'm going to kind of build from there a little bit. My name is Frank Vandenberg. I'm in Calgary, or close to Calgary. I'm a sports psych or mental trainer, and I've been doing this work for probably over 20 years, 22 years or something like that. I used to do athletics myself, track and field, and then I went into the sport of bobsleigh. I was pushing for the Dutch team for, I believe, 5 years or 6 years before I retired and started normal work. And I picked up my practice in mental training and sports psych, and I never looked back. It's been awesome. And so this was all in the Netherlands early on, and in 2005 I came to Canada. My wife is Canadian, and I started my work here, and it has been a great run. Many things I'm super grateful for. Working with national teams in various sports of bobsleigh and alpine skiing and paracycling and wrestling, working with Team Alberta for the Canada Games and working with Special Olympics Alberta since about 10 years. And as some people alluded to, I joined you guys for the National Summer Games in Ontario, in London, Ontario. And I also did the home games in St. Albert, the Winter Games, the National Winter Games, which was a lot of fun. And I'm really glad to be back here in November. It's the last day of November. We're getting into December right now. And yeah, second time in a row. So I'm going to kind of read up what we've been doing last week. Relaxation, that's right. We did some relaxation work, and we're going to go back to that a little bit. I do think it's good practice to be doing that, you know, quite often. So we're going to do a little bit more of that tonight. And it was really a lot around stress management. And I'm going to build from there. Tonight, what we're going to talk about is, and I've prepared some notes here, just to put on the screen here, psychological hygiene. Now, you guys know a lot about hygiene, like we all do these days. Like we're talking about physical hygiene. Like think about what we need to be doing to take care of ourselves, so we don't contract the virus or we don't spread the virus. We're doing a lot of things right now, including not training, which is not a lot of fun. Not training together. I mean, hopefully you're trained by yourself a little bit and keep yourself fit and active. But we can do sport together. It's really, really tough. You know, we need to kind of keep distance. You know that. We need to kind of keep distance. If you're not in the same household, you need to kind of stay 6 feet or 2 meters apart. And then we need to wear masks all the time. So we don't, you know, infect someone else, or we don't pick it up from someone. And then what else do we do to, you know, keep hygiene up? Hand washing. I'm sure you've been doing a lot of hand washing, just like I do, like probably twice as much as what we normally would do. But that's a good thing, because with hand washing we get all those germs and all that dirt off our hands, and we can be good. So hand washing is part of the physical hygiene, the mask wearing, the social distancing, all of that. And so now we're going to talk a little bit about how we're not taking care of our physical hygiene, but our psychological hygiene. Okay? And I'm going to tell you a few things that we can do to kind of to take care of ourselves, in our minds, in our well-being, in our health. Okay? I'm just going to quickly read if anything comes up. I'm from the Netherlands. Yes, Darby. Wash your hands a lot. Hand wash and face wash. I forgot the face wash part, for sure. So we do that a lot, and now we also need to take care of ourselves, because we are dealing with lots of frustration, with an amount of stress. We can't do what we want to do. So, you know, sometimes we get down, and we need to take care of ourselves. Now, what do we do for psychological hygiene? Now, the first thing I'd like to talk about is what I call emotional tolerance. So tolerance for our emotions. We feel a lot, you know, those emotions and feelings, they are with us. It's very normal. They're very human. So we can have all kinds of emotions and feelings happening, and at the time, maybe sometimes not as many good ones, but hopefully you can also sometimes feel good, excited, happy, joyful, grateful. And we're going to get more into that as well. But we're going through a bit of a roller coaster. And as you know, roller coasters, they go up and down, and they take sharp turns. And it never stops until you stop, I guess. So that's where we're in the middle right now. So when we're thinking about sitting on this roller coaster, all these emotions and feelings and things come up. And I just want you to know first that that's normal. That's okay. That's what we do. We feel. And one of the important things in emotional tolerance is actually recognizing that we're feeling something. Identifying what we're feeling. Naming it. So it's a really good thing to be just saying, you know what, I feel sad, or I feel very frustrated, or I feel a bit anxious, or I feel pumped. It's acknowledging those feelings and emotions that are part of us, and we can't often we can't get rid of them or we can't necessarily avoid them. So better than is just to acknowledge them. And so that is what I think the first step is. And if you want to exercise some emotional tolerance, is to acknowledge your own feelings. Some of you may want to write them down. That's a really good practice because you can kind of give your thoughts and feelings to the paper. You can reflect on it and write it down. Sometimes you can actually share it with other people. You can just tell how you're feeling, and that's all very, very healthy. You know, one thing that we don't want to do is keep a lot of those feelings cropped inside. Cropped up inside, and they may start building and compounding and accumulating, and at some point it has to come out. And so if you're allowing it to come out once in a while, it's kind of an easier process. So that's the first thing: emotional tolerance, acknowledging that those feelings are human, that we all have these feelings, and that we want to kind of identify them, name them, be honest about them. That's really the most important part. I'm going to pause for just a quick to just read up what's happening here. So far so good. A lot of talk about my other home country. That's fine. We're not going to talk more about that. Maybe later. So the second part is what we've started to work on last week, which is kind of mindfulness practice, relaxation exercises. And we've done, I think, a really good one last week. Hope you remember, we were focusing on our breathing. We're going to do a little bit more of that in a bit of a different way. But why I want to do it again is that, practice helps us to become better at it. Practice helps us to be familiar with what we're trying to achieve. With practice, we get better. So why wouldn't we do just another one? And I just picked one that's a little bit similar, but a little bit different as well. And there's just a few nuances that I would like you to attend to. Now, it's pretty easy, okay? I'm gonna read a script here for you, and the only thing I'm asking you to do is just follow along, and see what you're noticing, see what you're getting, and see what you're experiencing in your body and mind, and that's what this whole exercise is about. So I'm gonna go through that. It takes maybe 4 minutes or maybe 5 minutes, so it takes a little bit. And then we're gonna get back in our conversation. We're gonna talk a little bit about it, and then we're gonna find some other pieces for, again, psychological hygiene. I would suggest to leave the chat. You can, in a few minutes, you can get back at it again. Okay. I invite you to kind of sit back in your chair or on the couch, or maybe some of you are lying down, and all of that is fine. And I just want you to kind of work with me as I'm doing this script. Here we go. Okay? Give it a rest. For the next few minutes, give it a rest. All of it. Today's practice, tomorrow, school, work, friendships, family, the hallway gossip, your inner gossip, the next new thing. Let everything be exactly what it is, and rest. Let your body rest. If you feel comfortable, allow your eyes to close. If not, just focus into the screen. Look at me. Feel your body supported by the couch, by the chair, by the bed. Allow the muscles in your body and your face to rest. Maybe even let out a long, nice, slow sigh. Let your attention rest on the breath. Like last week, on the rhythm of the breath. On the rhythm of the breath in your belly. Feel the belly expand with each in-breath and release with each out-breath. And just pay attention to the rhythm of your breath and allow everything else to fade into the background. Breathing, resting. Nowhere to go, nothing to do, no one to be, nothing to prove. Feel the entire in-breath from the very first sip all the way through to where the breath is still. And the entire out-breath from the first whisper all the way through to where the breath is still. Now see if you can let your attention rest in this still, quiet place between the in-breath and the out-breath. And rest again in the still space between the out-breath and the in-breath. Breathing, resting, being. This is more than enough, just hanging out with your breath and the stillness. Feeling the stillness and quietness that are always inside of you. And when your attention wanders, which it will sometimes, gently return it to the experience of breathing, feeling the rhythm of the breath in your belly. Choosing to rest, choosing to focus your attention on the breath, allowing things to be just as they are, allowing yourself to be exactly as you are. There's nothing to change or fix or improve right now. Breathing and resting, resting and breathing. As this practice comes to a close, you may want to remember that in our fast-paced world, resting is a radical act. With practice, you can learn to breathe and rest anytime, anywhere. When you're lacing up your shoes, when you're struggling in class or in practice, anywhere. When you're hanging out with friends, when things are not going your way. The kind of resting and breathing is especially helpful when you're feeling nervous or frustrated or excited or angry. And just like with physical skills, the more you practice, the more natural this skill will become. So commit to practicing breathing and resting in stillness and quietness. And remember, you can return to stillness and quietness anytime you want by simply resting your attention on your breath. All right, for those that had your eyes closed, you can open your eyes. It's the end of this exercise. And just come back, to where we are. It always feels good to stretch out after an exercise like this. I welcome you just to do that like me. And as you do, I'd like you to make a circle with your thumb and finger and put that circle on your chin. Put that circle on your chin. All right, not on your cheek, on your chin. That's right, right there. Now that's weird, hey? That's strange. That's funny, hey? I show you to put it on your cheek and I tell you to put it on your chin, and probably most of you that were looking at me put it on their cheek and not on their chin. If you weren't looking at me, you probably put it on your chin. Anyway, that little thing about, this was just to wake you up again. It's just to get back from our relaxation exercise. And just a couple of questions. Were you able to tune into yourself? Were you able to tune into your breathing? Were you noticing a nice rhythm in your breathing, in your belly? Were you able to find that still, quiet place that I was talking about? And as you were doing this exercise, how did it make you feel? Well, thanks, Darby. You say that felt nice. That's good. That's good practice. Well done. Well done, April. Excellent. It was calming. No, that's why I'm doing it, because you know we're taking care of ourselves. We're applying psychological hygiene. We're doing a mindfulness practice. We're doing a relaxation exercise. It's how we get control of ourselves. So it's a really, really cool one. Wyatt said it made him feel relaxed. That's great. It was calming and relaxing. Now, you know, I do this exercise quite a lot with all kinds of athletes I'm working with, and you know, this exercise and other exercises, and I also make a recording so I can send the recording to people so they can listen to it again. But I believe that this Facebook live session is being recorded, so once it's posted on the website, you may as well go back to whatever minute we started on, minute 12 or so, or 11. And do the exercise again anytime you want. It's super good. And the more often you do it, the better we take care of ourselves. Now, good. Okay, so that was, we talked about emotional tolerance. We started working again with some mindfulness practice and relaxation exercise. The next thing I'm going to talk to you about is when you're getting a little upset of some sort, or when you're challenged, you just may want to find peace. I put it on a notepad again. Find peace. And we're going to work through what peace means, what peace stands for. But think about this, you know, when it's a tough day, when you don't feel so great, when you're frustrated or something like that, you just may want to kind of go through these steps and see how you can actually respond differently. So here we go. Let's start with the P of peace. Okay? This one is simple. Pause. Okay, you probably remember this one. Pause means stopping your tracks. Stopping your tracks. Take a step back. Count to 2. Maybe count to 10. Pause. Just a little quick timeout. Super important. Well, pause is really good because you're pulling yourself out, but it may not be enough. The next step in peace, finding peace, and you've just learned and practiced this a little bit, exhale. Let it go. Release that breath. Take a sigh. Maybe take another breath. But exhale and think about how letting the air out really releases a lot of tension, frustration, really helps us to relax a little bit more. Okay? So, we have pause, timeout, now exhale. What's the next letter in peace? It's A. Now A stands for different things, and I put them all on my pad. Acknowledge. Acknowledge what the situation is like. Acknowledge, as I said before with emotional tolerance, acknowledge what your feelings are. How do you feel? Just be honest with yourself. Just acknowledge the situation that it is, whether you like it or not. That's what it is, and accept what it is. You know, this is my reality. And allow your experience to be there. It may not be the best. It's just an experience. So just acknowledge how you're feeling in that moment. And then you can, instead of reacting in a way that you don't like later, you can maybe choose how you would want to respond. You may choose what you want to do next. You want to maybe provide some clarity. This is what I'm going to do. This is the step I'm going to take. This is how I'd like to respond to this challenge. Sometimes you need courage to bravely speak about your truth, being honest to yourself, being true to yourself, but also hearing the truth from others. You know, it takes a bit of courage sometimes to hear that. And then also with compassion. And what I mean by that is be kind. Be kind to yourself. Can you choose to be kind to yourself? Not make it too hard, too difficult, but that you can be kind to yourself and kind to others. And then also with comedy. And I like comedy as well because that makes us smile again. So think about something that's funny. Think taking something that's making it a little lighter. Maybe don't take it as seriously. Think about something that makes you laugh and how you can use comedy in finding peace. Now the next one is in peace is the last one is kind of engage again. Okay, which means after you've paused, after you've exhaled, after you've allowed for your experience, and after you've chosen a response that works for you, now you're ready to engage again. You've given yourself a little time out. Maybe the sting is out. Maybe you're not as upset anymore. And now you're ready to engage again. Now you're ready to come back and chat with people, continue what you were doing, and kind of move on from there. So peace, finding peace is maybe a way that you can respond a little bit differently than you were thinking about. Now, there's the word again, peace. Pause, exhale, acknowledge, or allow. This was choose, and courage, and compassion, comedy, and then re-engage. Now I'm just going to read up on some of your chats, but my question that I would like to ask you is this something that you like? Is this something that you want to remind yourself of? Is this something that you would sometimes want to practice to respond differently and find peace? Okay, I'm going to read up on the chat. Teach people with kindness. Kindness matters, yes. Peace is like stepping back and reflecting. I like that. I like the way you put that, Leonka. Yes, that's how you can explain it. That's how you can think about it. Very well, very well. Okay. Pause. Let you relax. Okay. So you're all with me so far, and we won't make it too long, but I still have a few things to do here. Okay. Next one in psychological hygiene is stay connected. Social connection. Be together with others, with people in your household, with your friends, with your teammates. Now I know that you can maybe not be together physically, but maybe there is a way to connect anyway. And that's why we're doing this session anyway, is actually to connect everyone around in Special Olympics Alberta to maximize our potential, to do something in the peak program, to connect and do something good. Okay, so we're doing this on purpose, and it's very well done. So good for you that you're attending here, that you're doing this. But think about how you can provide support or kindness to other people, and how other people may be able to do that to you as well. Now, how do we do that when we can be physically together? We'll need to be on the phone. We'll need to make a phone call. We may go on FaceTime. We may do these webinars, but that's our way to connect right now, and it's super important. So emotional tolerance, mindfulness practice and relaxation, then we had finding peace. Now we have the social connection. Okay? And the last piece that I would like to kind of share with you here on taking care of ourselves in our psychological hygiene. And I'm going to give you a task here for the next few days, for extra points, I guess. I'm not sure how you want to fill that in, but finding gratitude and joy every day really makes us feel good, but we sometimes have to work for it. Sometimes we have to really think hard. What brings me joy? What is something that you can think of? And here's a question, you can put it in the chat. What is something that happened today that brought you joy? Something that was joyful. Maybe something small, maybe something big, but something that you really liked. There must be something. Just think about it. Something that brings you joy. And the other piece is maybe something that you can be grateful for. There's a lot that we can be grateful for, but sometimes we have to think about what that is. Now I'm gonna read your answers in the chat. So tell me from today something that you're really grateful for, or that you find joy in. Yeah, playing online with friends. That is something that is nice. We did a Costco run. That was joyful, or that you can be grateful for. I got good news, Darby. That's probably joyful. Thank you for sharing. Hanging out with my family and my pets. Yes. Excellent. Playing basketball with the family at the end of November. That's awesome. I actually played tennis outside at the beginning of November, and you're still playing basketball outside at the end of November. That's pretty cool. See if we can bring that into December. It's supposed to be maybe nice and warm on the weekend. We'll see. That I worked today that made me joy. Excellent. Thank you for letting us know, James. That's wonderful to hear. I find joy in helping others. These are such great examples. Making bracelets for your classmates. Don, that's a great example as well. You know, that's what I wanted to show you, that you're finding all these examples of joy every day, on a day like today, on the Monday. I'm grateful I have God. How joyful is that? And something to be grateful for. Sunny and nice weather, going for a walk, or cross-country ski, with your dad even. That's awesome. So this is what I wanted to point out, is that we want to find these examples every day. Remember, we're talking about psychological hygiene and how we take care of ourselves, which then means that we also want to find those examples of gratitude and joy. And this is maybe my assignment for you for the next week, or can I even suggest the next 2 weeks? That would be hard, but maybe next week. Find something of joy every day. At the end of the day, think about what happened and write down, or just remember, something that brought you joy, something that you can be super grateful for. And sometimes it's maybe the same on different days, but I also would suggest that you find something else on most days. So just let's fill our hearts and our heads, our minds, with some of that joy. And I can tell you honestly that not only relaxation with breathing, but positive emotions, the real positive emotions, the things that we just talked about, the joy and the gratitude, can actually have really good effect on us, both in our bodies and in our minds. And so that is really what I wanted to share with you tonight. How you can take care of yourself, applying some psychological hygiene. Now, I'm pretty sure that you now much better understand what I mean with this psychological hygiene. And so maybe for the next few days, apply it. You know, think about when you're washing hands. How can I wash my mind? How can I take care of myself? How do I apply the psychological hygiene as well? And yeah, maybe it's time to share maybe the password for you soon, so you can keep accumulating your points as you're heading up to the peak, and as you are attending this particular session. But first, before I do that, maybe you have a question. Maybe one or two of you guys have a question for me. I just want to give a little time for a question that you can ask me. I know that there's a bit of a delay, so I'm just gonna wait for a few more seconds and see if any questions pop up. Lori, you have a question for me. I would love to hear. I'm sure you're typing it in your chat right now. Yeah, we can't wait for some of those vaccines. I'm grateful we might have. These are such helpful ideas. I'm really happy, James, that you, Darby, that you think that way. Just roll with it. You know what? I'm sharing this with you, but it's up to you to pick up on it. It's up to you to make it work. You know, I'm not around you, so you have to kind of take care of yourself a little bit. And I hope these ideas help you in that goal. What are my dogs' names? Maggie and TJ. Maggie and TJ. So, okay. So I'm going to give you the password, something you've been waiting on all along. But you know, I'm really glad that I got to do this this meeting with you, with all of you. And here we go. This is the password for today's Maximize Monday session. It is Blue Elk. Blue Elk. I encourage you to write it down. You can also remember it, but this is the one that you would want to remember. This is the one that you get points for. So you're welcome, Jessica. I'm really glad that I can help you out with some of your stress and that we can do this together. And I'm really glad that I can be here. Thank you, Lori. I appreciate it. So everyone wrote down this particular password, Blue Elk. Just make sure that no one forgets it here. Just write it down. Or take a screenshot here of my little cute face with the blue elk. And you know what? I may actually come back next week. How about that? And we're gonna do something else. I'm really glad for all of you guys. I wish you all a great week. Okay, Maximize Monday, and then the workout Wednesday is coming down in a couple of days, and then ease into the weekend. I wish you all well. Stay well, and see you later. Thank you all. I appreciate it. Bye bye. Mindfulness Monday, that's what it is. Maximize Monday, Mindfulness Monday. Bye everyone, you're so welcome. I would like to see you again. And until then, bye-bye. Have a great evening.